What's going on, guys? Welcome to another psychology video. This is episode, I don't even know, 17, 16, but we're not missing a day, as I'm fucking saying, man. I love you guys, and I'm here for you every damn day. And as you know, whenever we do a technical video, we have to follow up with the psychology video because I do believe it is equally as important, if not more important. You can really hand anybody the keys to success with trading as far as technicals go. You can literally give them the exact blueprint of this is how you have to look at the markets every day. This is how you have to trade. But if they can't lock in mentally, if they can't get their psyche together and collect their life completely, then you're never going to succeed with trading. And that's just the reality. There's nothing you can do about it. Trading is one of those things that you need to really shape yourself as a person. You will be exposed to all your weakest habits. You'll be exposed to all the characteristics that you lack that make a successful person beyond just trading, the patience, the discipline, the everything. And one thing I wanted to talk about in this video, which I kind of forgot in the previous videos, is the importance of working in silence. This kind of goes hand in hand with the do it for yourself video, but working in silence, I think, is another factor to it, right? Often as people, anytime we have a good idea, for example, you get a good business idea and you go up to your friend and you're like, dude, I just got this $1 million idea. Imagine we did this, this, and this. And you're like, and you're getting so much dopamine from that. You're getting so much dopamine from that, right? Just telling your friend this $1 million business idea. And what you're doing is it's mental masturbation, right? Like you're just pretty much feeling the dopamine of what it would be like to actually succeed in that business that you thought of, but you're not actually taking any action, right? And the same thing works with trading. We always tell people like, bro, yeah, when this works out, I'm going to have this car. I'm going to have, I'm going to be making this amount of money. And that's not doing you any good. I'm telling you, it's fine to visualize what you want. It's fine to already have an idea of what it is you're working towards, but to speak it out, loud 24/7 to other people, just to like prove a point, to say, dude, I'm going to make 20K, bro. And we're going to fly around the world and this and that. It doesn't do you any good. And the thing is, when you're not in a position yet where your success, is speaking, therefore your words are speaking louder than your success, it's holding you back. By you telling everyone out there, oh, I'm going to start trading, I'm going to start making so much money, you're adding an unnecessary pressure, for one. And for two, you're just getting that early dopamine release. And you're only focusing on the outputs rather than the inputs. And I've talked about this many times, but this is a bit different, Like, you want to be okay with the idea of, I am doing this for me and not to tell everybody else. And you are going to work in silence because you are going to preserve that energy. You're not gonna waste energy telling other people what you're doing. There's simply no point, when all you're gonna hear is, bro, that's not gonna work, dude. Trading doesn't fucking work. You need to get a real job. You need this. You need to be realistic. Blah blah blah. Fuck that, bro. Fuck that. You're gonna do it, and you're gonna do it in silence, and that's really important. And when you do succeed, that will speak louder than any words you can ever say. That's the truth. And I see so many people who want to start something, want to start a business or want to start trading, and they spend that first week talking so much about how they started, and they never stick with it. But everyone I know, and I literally mean almost everyone, I'd say 95% of people I know who start trading and, for example, come to me and they tell me like, hey, like, I know you're into trading, like, what should I do? And I tell them like, hey, I think this is what you should do. They come back to me 6 months later or 5 months later, and they're like, bro, thank you so much for all this. By the way, I started making this amount of money, whatever, got paid out with all these firms, all this shit. I'm like, what the fuck? I completely forgot you had started this. Like, I completely forgot you even asked me about this. I felt like so long ago. And realistically, it was only 5 or 6 months, but it was because they were so quiet about it, because they were so focused on just, proving to themselves they can do it, and not having to just tell everybody about this new venture they started and this new skill they're trying to build. They were really able to just focus on it themselves and refine the skill without the pressure of other people. And I know what some of you are thinking, well, Patty, isn't pressure good? Like, pressure builds you more as a character. Sure, pressure is good, but when it's you versus you in trading, wow, you don't need the pressure of other people judging you and hoping that you meet these expectations that you set for yourself your first week into trading. That's unnecessary pressure. The type of pressure that's good in trading is when you start making money and now you have this pressure to keep it consistent, to keep balling up, to make your next month better than your last. That's good pressure, but that's competition with yourself. This is not about proving anyone. This is not about telling anyone what you're doing. This is literally about you just focusing on the one thing that you need to improve on. And so maybe I'm just a superstitious fuck and believe that, when you tell other people your ideas, you're just throwing them out into the air and they go to waste. But I really do feel like people who are okay just building a skill and building themselves in silence are the people who grow the most. If you're able to follow through with something, to take the risk, and not have to tell everyone about it, because I feel like inherently we honestly think that, when we do these things, it's kind of lonely, so we want other people to know. Maybe we want them to join in or something like that, just so we feel better about what we're doing. But when you're okay doing it, just, for yourself and in silence, I really do think that's when you see the most amount of improvement. You don't have all this extra noise going on. You don't have to listen to all these other people's opinions who have nothing to do with your journey, because realistically they don't. You don't need a team with trading. You don't need a boss with trading. You don't need people working for you with trading. It's literally just you. So why would you go around having to tell everyone that you started trading, that you're going to start making money with trading, that you started making money with trading? Why do you have to tell people that? It's like you're trying to prove a point. It's like you want people to know that you took the risk and you're not even doing it for yourself at this point. And so I know this video is kind of similar to the do it for yourself video and not for other people. But I do think this is a more specific scenario, because even if you're doing it for yourself, it's still easy to go ahead and tell other people everything that you've done, everything that you've accomplished, all the risks you've taken, the shit you've gone through. But more importantly, it's so easy to just sit there and be like, yeah, man, in a year or two, I'm going to be so fucking rich. And that shit's just whack, bro. That shit is corny. I don't care if you tell me that. Just prove it to me. If you really want to show me that, just prove it to me in a year or 2 years. And you won't even have to say anything. I'm sure one day I'll see you pull up in this car that you've always wanted, or go to your brand new apartment, or maybe you throw up a fucking story post on Instagram and, you're on this beautiful vacation. That's cool. That's a fucking flex. Disappearing for a year in the sense of working in silence and then popping out, and you're living the life that you always wanted. And people see that. It's way cooler to be humble. It's way cooler to do things for your own satisfaction than to be the person who just loves, talking about all these things they could be doing and how much money they're going to be making. I don't know. I just find that shit lame. I just find that shit so damn lame. There's nothing more than I appreciate people. There's nothing more that I appreciate than people who just don't give a fuck about external validation, who don't care about other people's opinions. They are so focused on just building and being a better person today than they were yesterday. And that's cool. And the more you can get in the habit of just being a humble person early on, you will thank yourself. Because when you do start making money, when things start kind of going your way, trust me, your possessions will try to possess you. They will try to be bigger than you, but you always have to be bigger than the things you possess. That's what makes someone cool. When the coolest thing about someone is the cars they have and the house they have and all this shit, that's a lame ass person. But when the car they have and the house they have is just, a compliment, or just it's just adjacent to who they are as a person, and it makes them, you know, just as cool. In fact, they make the car cooler, they make the house cooler, they make the lifestyle they live cooler because they are genuinely a good person. That's sick, bro. That's sick. I love people like that. When you meet them and they're just such a nice human being, they seem very normal, they're good at communicating, they want to help others, and then little do you know, they got $1 million in the bank, a sick ass car, you know, provide for their family, do a bunch of cool shit that you don't necessarily know about because they're not telling everyone this, right? They're more focused on just being a good person. And I'm telling you, you need to get in the habit of that now, because when you start making money, it will try to control you. And I've been there. I hate to admit it. I've been there. When I started making a lot of money, I started thinking that I was kind of the shit. You know, despite my family telling me my entire life that you making money doesn't mean you're cooler now or anything. They always told me, be humble. Don't talk about money to anyone else. They would always tell me that. You know, and I think it's really important that they told me that. Especially when I started making money, I told them like, hey, look, you know, things are really going well. And they go, well, stay humble. Just stay humble. And they would repeat it to me all the time. And that's why I kind of didn't really post on social media a lot, you know, for the first year or two, when I was making a lot of money. I didn't post about the trips I went on. I didn't post about my vintage Porsche when I first bought it. That was my dream car, and I didn't even post about it. I think I made one video on it. I didn't, dude, like, it's crazy. I traveled the world, and I kind of did it in silence, and that felt nice. It made me feel more present. And then I think as time went on and I started making more money, once again, it tried to take control of me. It boosted my ego and made me think that, you know, I was above other people. And then I realized again, I'm not above other people. Money does not make you better than anyone. It's how you treat others. It's how you hold yourself, you know, your morals, everything. That's way more valuable than any dollar amount in your bank account. And, you know, man, I don't know who's watching this, and I don't carry like hate in my heart, but I really dislike the trading industry. And I've never really liked it from the beginning because it's so full of other people trying to claim that they're better, trying to claim that they have more money, trying to just show off all their possessions. And then you look around and you realize that most of these people are only liked for what they have and not who they are. And you never want to be that person. And I think it's a bit more prominent in this industry, in the trading industry, than anywhere else. And fuck it, you know? But that's why I wanted to make these videos. I kind of wanted to carry on the wisdom that my parents gave me throughout my life, the shit that I've learned as I started seeing more success, and hope that you guys can take something away from this. Because as much as I want to see all you guys win, I also want to see you guys live a humble life and be nice to other people, and maybe one day also help others, you know, the way I'm trying to right now. Everyone does things their own way, and that's what matters. Don't try to be like anyone else. And as I said, more importantly than anything, do what you love in silence. It makes it just that much more real. It makes it more special. And yeah, always preserve that energy, bro. Energy is everything. If you spend most of your time just telling everyone about all the shit that goes on in your brain, all these $1 million business ideas that you have, you're just throwing that energy out into the air instead of using those thoughts to actually build, to take action. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, I appreciate all you guys who have been tuning into this series. I know the views sort of die out as you go, but that's totally fine. And I really hope I'm making an impact in your guys' lives, and you watch these videos and you feel inspired, but more importantly, you take action above anything. Because one thing is motivation, but motivation is pretty much bullshit. Because motivation is just what? Oh, I feel like doing this right now more than ever, so I'm going to do it because suddenly I feel more, and you know, more motivation than usual. That's bullshit. Discipline is more important. The times that you go to the gym, even when you least want to do it, that's the most important shit. The days that you show up when things are the hardest, that's when it's most important. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up this video. Hopefully you guys understood my message there. And finally, I'm going to give this 5 seconds because I'm not trying to edit this video at all. I need to figure out what song you guys want. Sorry. my best friend, I'll scream it too, but nothing is. There ain't nothing that I do.